What is going on, guys? My name is AJ, and we are here taking a look at Dragon Age Inquisition's latest live stream on Twitch for their multiplayer gameplay. They recently did this today, 11/6/2014. We're getting really close to the launch of this game, and I'm getting more and more excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it and to play it. But I saw this and I wanted to go ahead and post it up for you guys since I didn't see a whole lot of it going on YouTube. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and stay tuned to my channel. I'll be doing a Let's Play, of course, along with everyone else and their mother, I'm sure. Plan on taking care of business with a Canary warrior for my Let's Play, so go ahead and come back and take a look at that. But without further ado, I'll let this trailer play through and let you guys get on to the action. It's a pretty interesting playthrough for the multiplayer, so hopefully you guys enjoy.
Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
Hello everyone, welcome to Dragon Age Multiplayer. So today in our stream we're going to show the multiplayer mode of Dragon Age Inquisition. My name is Sila Costa, I'm producer from Dragon Age Inquisition. I have here with me on my side Billy Buskell. Please present yourself, Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy Buskell. As Sila mentioned, I'm an associate producer on Multiplayer. And with us outside of the room here we actually have three other team members. We have Amelia Von Hayden, we have Josh Stixma, and we have Luke Barrett. So they'll be playing in another room with us. You won't hear them today, but in a future cast we'll make sure to include them.
All right. So today we want to give an overall presentation for you guys. What is Dragon Age Multiplayer about? So it's a 4-player co-op experience. It's a party-based adventure, and we're going to go through all the main topics of what does it mean to be playing Dragon Age Inquisition, the multiplayer mode. So let's get it going. Actually, I'm like as you guys can see on the screen, this is the main lobby of multiplayer, of Dragon Age Multiplayer. You can see the 4 players that are lined up for the match. We have one keeper, one archer, another keeper, and a legionnaire. So Billy, are you playing with the keeper today?
Today I'm going to go with keeper. We've got loadout with 2 keepers here just to kind of balance the party. We start off with 3 classes, but before we get into some of that, maybe we should go into the store and get my starting pack just so we can get some fresh gear.
That's a good idea. Let's go to the store first then.
All right. So the first time you come into the store, you're going to actually see that you get a free Inquisition surplus crate, and that's going to give you a little bit of extra gear, get you started up. So when you're first matching, we're going to give you something to kind of get you going right out of the gate. So we'll open this up. It's free.
What do you
Let's
get?
see what we got here. So we got a healing potion. Those are going to be really, really valuable, especially early on with the challenge. All right, so I got a lightning staff. That's perfect for our keeper. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I equip that right away.
Yeah, let's equip it.
All right. We go to inventory, and I got weapons here, and actually cycle through here. I got different staves. As you can see at the top of the screen, we have different filters there. So I started with an Inquisition staff, but I just earned this Disciple lightning staff. So I'm going to make sure we equip that here. Give us a bit of a boost. So a bit more damage, as you can see, from 24 up to 32, and now it's going to cast lightning ability.
So today, by the way, we're playing with level 1 characters, right? Because we want to show the progression. I'm like, once you start multiplayer with level 1 characters, how do you equip your characters in the beginning? How are you going to level them up?
Exactly. We'll go back here, and just for quick visibility, when we first came into the mode, before we started streaming here, we all picked our characters. So the very first time you start in multiplayer, it's going to give you a chance to pick your character. As you can see, there's 3 classes that start you off, or 3 characters, sorry. And we're going to go with the keeper for myself. We got our new lightning staff equipped.
Yeah, and Dragon Age multiplayer will ship with 12 characters at launch, so 12 really awesome characters, and 3 of those 12 characters are unlocked since the start.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So I'm gonna give you a quick overview of what multiplayer is. So we have a 4-player co-op experience. Actually, we can go straight into the match. You guys can level up, and I can give that introduction.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll everybody will ready up here with the right trigger, and we'll get the match started.
All right. So Dragon Age Multiplayer is a 4-player co-op party-based adventure, as I mentioned before. So that means that you have a party of 4 people, like let's say 4 friends playing together, and we have 12 characters available at launch, 4 mages, 4 warriors, and 4 rogues. So you can pick your character, and that's very important actually for Dragon Age Multiplayer. You have to play as a team, so you have to pick a character that is going to help your party. So you can play 4 mages, for example, if you want, but it's going to be much more tough if you do so. So usually a balanced party would have like a warrior, a mage, and a rogue, at least one of each class. And usually one of the warriors is going to play the whole role of the tank.
Our soldiers are ready. They're always ready. They're headed to
All right. So for the purpose of today, we actually we joined each other as friends. We made a match together, but you'll be able to matchmake with folks you're not familiar with. So you actually have the option to join with friends or go through public matchmaking if you don't have enough people online. And you can do a combination of the two. So if you have a friend but you need to fill out those other 2 spots, you can do that as well. So today you can see we've chosen we're on routine difficulty. That's a starting difficulty level, and the team has jumped into the Elven Ruins. It's one of 3 environments we can travel to, so yeah, we'll head on through the stairs and get on their way here. So.
Yeah, so Billy, can you actually show a little bit of your abilities here before we actually head up there?
Absolutely. So this is our keeper, Neria. And she's our support class, so she's got an AoE here that she can drive around. Nice cursor here, and cast barrier. So actually cast barrier on our other keeper here, just to keep that nice friendship alive. And then I also have a lightning attack with my lightning. Now this is my ability, but I also have the lightning staff. And you can see my basic attack can be chained together, and the final shot's a nice spread shot, which is great for hitting enemies from above and from the sides.
All right, so let's head forward. Let's open the first door.
All right.
Go through the first combat. So, because this is a party-based adventure, we want you to play as a team, right? That means that you guys need to stick together during the match, and usually it's a good idea to have the warrior going first, right?
Absolutely. So we got Corbin, our legionnaire, at the front there. He's going to open up our door. He's kind of pinged everybody here to let us know where he wants us to be. Get into the dungeon. Alright, so we got some enemies just up ahead. We can highlight them with up on the D-pad too, which is really handy because now all of our team members can see exactly where that archer is in the background. He's a bit peskier than some of our other team members at the front line here.
So you're playing with the keeper. The keeper is a support class, right? I'm like, can you go over what does that mean?
Absolutely. So with the keeper here, her starting ability, like I mentioned before, is that barrier. She drives the cursor around, and she's going to actually want to try and keep that on. It's on cooldown right now, so you got to be careful with timing. But you want to keep that equipped, especially on our frontline warrior here. Our other keeper has just granted barriers. You can see that little highlight around the health bar on Corbin's health here.
So that blue highlight,
that little blue highlight there, that's just letting us know that, yeah, he's got barrier. And the great thing here is having 2 keepers. We're able to kind of tag team back and forth and make sure that we have that up at all times.
Oh, it looks like you just found a treasure room there.
I think we got something special here. I'm not the right class for this though, so maybe we can get our legionnaire to come take a look at this. I think he's got the right foot size for this.
The finesse
there
of the
we
warrior.
go. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we like to see.
Right, so throughout your dungeon crawling and adventure, you're going to find some rooms that are treasure rooms, right? That means that you can find some gold coins, you can break some vases and find gold coins, and at the end of the treasure room, you can find also a treasure chest.
Now these things are risky, because if we open it, sometimes it's gold, but sometimes there's someone here to... Oh, we got free gold. This is a nice lucky moment, because sometimes you'll come in here and there's guardians, and you have to fight them off to be able to, make it back into the dungeon. So.
Yeah, so every treasure room is going to be a risk and reward situation. So you have to look at your health, discuss with your party, should go to that treasure room. And once you collect all the loot, all that gold coins, I'm like, what are you going to do with it after?
Oh, the best thing we'll bring back as much gold as possible is going back into the store. So we bought that surplus crate to start us off. We have a bunch of different chests in the store. And you can use those to buy to get more potions, more items, and even unlock new characters.
Okay.
Alright, so sweet.
Another chest.
More free gold. That's pretty sweet. Now we've taken essentially a shortcut. We're gonna end up behind enemy lines here. We'll see how that plays out.
Oh, another thing that I noticed, like you can see on the screen that it was like plus 34 gold. Is that your gold or everybody's gold? How does that work?
Oh yeah, friendship. That's what it's all about. Teamwork and friendship. So we want to make sure that everybody gets that gold. So even though I didn't pick up that gold chest, I saw the 34 gold pop up for myself. That's because everyone on the team is going to benefit from that gold. Which is really, really handy when you finish that match, go back to the store, be able to buy more gear.
So in short, as long as someone is picking up the gold, the team is going to be fine.
Everyone profits, yeah.
Right.
There's no khakis in Dragon Age, but everybody gets profit, so that's awesome.
But it looks like you have a mage in the comic now.
Yeah, let's highlight him, make sure our team's aware.
The Venatori Spellbinder.
There we go, we got him target locked. Oh.
I think he's angry at you.
Oh, there we go.
He's gone.
Our archer made some quick work of him. Make sure we get our legionnaire nice and covered. He's got full guard built up too. That's awesome.
So he's playing really well, right? That's
absolutely, yeah. As a tank, going that role, you can see those armor chunks are built up on his health bar, and that lets him soak up even more damage for the team.
Yeah. So as a tank, I'm like his main role, and that's important. I'm like every time you have a tank in your party, he needs to be playing that role, right? He needs to be going in the front line. He needs to be attacking the enemies and generating aggro for himself. And as much as he can also generate guard for himself, so that he has that extra barrier.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he's our frontline defense essentially. We want to keep, you know, our archer, our two keepers who are a little bit more delicate further back, attacking from range. Now, we've cleaned out the area. You may have seen in the bottom left-hand corner, we saw that key collected icon pop up, and that means that we're free to move through to the next zone. Actually, a little radar down below will show us a little door icon that kind of points us in the direction where we want to head.
So that means that you completed the zone, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
How many zones do we have on a...
So yeah, with each mission, we basically have 5 zones, and in between each of those zones, we have these little recovery areas. So you can see here we have a health recovery font. So we're going to use that. Now the great thing about this is going to restore everyone's health to full, regardless of difficulty, regardless of location. It's not area-based. It's actually going to give everybody full health. So you can actually start to use that in very different tactical manners.
So basically, your goal is to finish the zone.
Absolutely.
You know that if one of you finish the zone, you can get to that recovery font.
Exactly. Now, if one of us had fallen, the great thing is we can get to that doorway. It'll bring everybody back to life, and we'll also get that health recovery font to get them back to full health. So even if you're downed, you're not completely out yet, which is great.
Oh, I noticed that the archer threw a few things on the ground. What are those?
Caltrops, everyone's favorite. The caltrops are fantastic because they're actually great for crowd control. You can actually, you know, use an area like this. If you want to put caltrops down, it'll slow down the enemy and do a little bit of damage as well. So it prevents them from attacking as quickly, closing gaps against you.
So I guess that he could use also on a choke point.
Absolutely, yeah. That's where you're going to find the most effective use of caltrops, is setting up a choke point where, you know, the team members can then stay behind and use that essentially as a mini barrier or a blockade for the enemy to have to sledge through.
So since we were talking about the archer, let's go through the DPS class, right? I'm like, so the archer is one of the rogues, one of the DPSs. So that's the role that he plays in your party. Mm-hmm. One of the abilities that he has as a level 1, I think it's like some sort of an explosive shot. Is that right?
Yeah, so one of the starting abilities Scylla mentioned is the explosive shot. Now, if you hit it, it's going to do a massive explosion, and it's great because if you land that first shot, first strike, you get a little bit of a bonus as well. So you can hit that first enemy, really kind of start the combat off on a bang, quite literally, and then get the team moving in there, get our Legionnaire running up front, and then get support moving in with barriers here.
And he can hit multiple enemies with the explosive shot.
Exactly, yeah. It's got a bit of an AoE, so it's going to land and hit multiple enemies, especially if you time it well, get them early on, and try to get them when they're clustered. You're going to see a lot more damage pop up as a result.
Oh, it looks like you have a new enemy there.
Oh yes, this guy, the big axe. This is the brute. You gotta be careful with him. We can highlight him. Now the great thing is target lock. We can use the right stick click. This is the Venatori brute. And you can see he had a bit more health. He's a level 4 character, so we gotta be a little bit more careful with him. He's got that big axe.
Oh, someone is down.
We got a team member down here.
So what happens when you're down? You can crawl away, right?
Yeah, let's try to get there. I'll try to revive. Now you can run up and press and hold A. As long as you have your friend targeted, you'll get them back up. And thankfully our other keeper here has gotten barrier on myself as we revived our team members, so we were nice and safe.
Oh, I noticed also that once you revived, you got some XP.
Absolutely, yeah. All about support, right? So we want to make sure that not just killing enemies, but there's support actions that you can do for your team, and those are rewarded as well. In fact, we've seen a lot of times where a match will finish, and the people who are doing the most support actions are the ones who will come up with the highest score.
So as long as you're playing a role, if you're playing as a tank, if you're generating aggro and hitting enemies or killing enemies, you're gonna get lots of XP as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
If you're playing the DPS, dealing damage and killing enemies, you're gonna get it. And if you're playing a support role, you're also gonna get DPS. XP for it.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is even a class like our Legionnaire here, who's a warrior, but he's a tank, and so his support is going to come from blocking. So as he builds more of that guard, you're going to actually see he's going to get a lot more support XP as a result.
I think he needs a barrier.
Yeah, sorry, I'm slacking here. We had our first keeper get that first barrier, and actually our archer did a great job placing those caltrops to set up a choke point here for us. Oh, but we got a stalker here. He's our targeted enemy.
Oh,
I got to be very careful with him because he's got some blades. He's the two-bladed rogue of the Venatori faction. Got to be careful with him. So.
Yeah, we're playing here on the easiest difficulty, right? The routine difficulty.
Well, yeah, and easy is you know, an interesting word because yes, early on you're going to find that this is going to be a challenge. You know, we're fairly experienced players here, but with level 1 characters, it will be very challenging your first few matches. We're going to try and get some barrier here so we can stay alive. Oh, that mage just jumped behind us here. So you can see we got to watch for certain enemies that have the ability to teleport. Oh, I've dropped here.
Oh, you down.
And our other keeper here has jumped in, revived me. Now you can see I come back with some health, and the great thing is that if we can survive to the next doorway, we'll be able to get to the next health recovery font.
I noticed some great team play there. Like so, the Legionnaire, he was using his shield wall ability to raise his shield and block all the arrows, while the other mage was actually reviving you.
Exactly.
So blocking the attacks on you.
Yeah, teamwork is going to be crucial for success in the multiplayer mode. We really wanted to stress the importance of your roles, making sure that everybody plays a role, everybody's contributing to the team. So we can see, there's our good Legionnaire here is pointing out some gold. We want to make sure to take that back. But you can see almost, great coordination will play a huge benefit for us as well.
Now, with all that coordination, how do you guys... Now, obviously, we can't hear the party chat, but tell us a little bit about how you share that stuff on the different platforms with your teammates. What are your chat options?
So with Xbox Live and PSN, you're basically using the first-party system. So we're using the headsets there. PC, we also offer live chat with headsets. So PC, you actually offer the option of live chat as it is or open chat, and then we also offer push to talk. So.
Oh, you still can use the text, the text also, like the text chat also on PC, right?
Yeah.
The Origin support.
All right, so caltrops at the top here. So as these enemies want to try and make their way up, we'll be nicely protected. Be able to slow them down. That brute's coming up again. Let's try to get a barrier here.
A great use of the choke point.
Oh, there we go. He's coming up, and he's gonna enforce his way with that big axe.
So I know. Well, so we didn't mention, but you guys are playing the Venatori faction, right? That's
Absolutely.
Just one of the factions that you're gonna find in Dragon Age Multiplayer. What are the other two that we're gonna find?
So we have, as you said, the Venatori. We also have the Red Templars and the Demons, and each will provide a different challenge, very different enemy sets. You'll have to, prepare for them a little bit differently.
So actually, one of the guys that is playing with us is Josh Stigma, the lead creature designer for Dragon Age Inquisition, both single-player and multiplayer modes. Yeah. So we're gonna bring him in for one of the sessions, and he's gonna explain more about the creatures you're gonna find on Dragon Age Multiplayer.
Alright, so almost through this wave here. You can see that Legionnaire is doing a great job at the front line, blocking up the path here, creating a better choke point, and those caltrops held. So, we got a little.
What's that shiny
little
thing?
shiny thing. Let's make sure we take him out.
Looks like a nug.
Yeah, that's a golden nug. Oh, and look at oh wow, 64 gold. So we were able to get him quickly. He's a random event that can show up. You won't see him every match, but when you do, if you can take him out, he's quick. You gotta watch. I like to call him the bouncy ball in traffic. He can get you into some bad situations if you chase him. So the key is take him out quickly, and he's got some sweet, sweet loot inside of him.
So yeah, you can notice now that you can see the class door in the minimap in the bottom left side, and like you can see a question mark. That means that you found the class door, which can lead to a treasure room or maybe a shortcut. So they opened this new treasure room, very golden treasure room. Just a chest there. What's gonna go wrong?
Let's see what happens here.
Everything should be fine.
Hey, yeah, we've lucked out pretty good here. A lot of treasure rooms so far, no threats.
Right.
Free gold's always nice to have.
You also mentioned previously about events, right? Like you mentioned about the Golden Nug. What kind of events we can also find through your dungeon crawling experience?
Yeah, so within the 5 zones, we have a couple zones where events will occur, and that's where you're going to see different things. So actually earlier on, we saw in the top right corner, there was a health bar specifically calling out one of the stalkers. That's the Venatori dual-bladed mage, or sorry, dual-bladed rogue. And he was a VIP target for us. He's another one right here, actually, up ahead here. But we're gonna use tactic here. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. But with those events, yeah, combat is challenging, so we gotta be careful. But yeah, those events come up every time in zones 2 and 4, and they're a chance. They're completely optional. We took a lot of feedback from working on Mass Effect 3. And we heard, fans enjoyed playing those events that we had on the different waves, but they didn't want to have to do them every single time. So what we did is we said, let's make them optional. If you do them, you complete them, you're going to get some gold bonuses. That's awesome, because the more gold you bring back from a match, obviously you get to buy more in the store. But if you don't complete them, we'll let you continue on your way. So, and of course, it's all themed towards your mission as agents of the Inquisition. They all serve a purpose, essentially. So, it's the idea of that you're bringing back, scrolls. You're going to recover scrolls that are being burned by the enemy faction, or it might be, escorting a trooper that's come through, a captain, maybe a messenger that's gotten themselves into a sticky situation, and they're not really equipped for that. So, as our awesome agents come in here, they're going to try and get them through that match.
So one of the questions that we're receiving from our fans is how does that ties in with single player? So basically, Dragon Age multiplayer, the characters that you have in multiplayer, they're agents of the Inquisition. So think that in single player, you are the Inquisitor, and you have your army, your Inquisition army, and you're growing your army. And as you're doing that, you're going to have some missions that you can go through. But there are some minor missions that actually the Inquisitor doesn't go himself. So basically, he sends the agents of the Inquisitions to do it, and those are exactly the agents. Oh, it looks like
we got a party wipe here.
Oh, party wipe.
So this is kind of what we were referring to at the challenge. Just to kind of interrupt a bit. The challenge early on is level 1 characters is going to be very tough. We expect that. We really wanted to make sure that it has some legs. We want you to be able to work towards success. And so, we just encountered a stalker who went stealth. I saw him at the last second, but by the time I saw him, you could see he went for that jumping lunge, and he made good work of 2 blades directly to my chest. So I wasn't able to survive that. And it's a bit of a quick spiral after that. Once a team member falls, it can get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So we got to be very careful working as a team.
So actually, you guys can see the end of the match screen. Here you can see that you got some abilities. Looks like you leveled up also.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the great thing, kind of like we hinted at with the gold, is that it's shared across the whole team. But here we can also see, as each of our health bars filled up, it actually filled up the larger bar at the top. So we can go back here and we can see the total amount of XP earned, and it was shared across everybody. So we, for the team being successful, each team member provides a score of XP. That's great for personal pride. You feel like you get a bit of bragging rights with your friends. But at the end of the day, you all get that XP pooled back together, so you all succeed, you all progress, which is awesome. So, awesome work of our Legionnaire, our other Keeper, and our Archer meant that I got to level up to level 3 after one match. That was pretty cool. So.
And I can see some medals there. What are those?
Yeah, it looks like one of our other team members here got staff kills here. So, we'll see what here. And bow kills. So there's some medals that are going to be specific to each class. So example here, the bow kills is obviously our archer using a bow. Staff kills is our mages. So I didn't fare quite as well, but our other keeper was holding down, so that was awesome.
Right, let's go back to the
Alright.
main menu. Now that you level up,
Hmm.
what can you do with
We
it?
see
Let's
our
go
goal.
back
We
there.
got some challenges there. So let's go back to the lobby here, and we stay in the lobby. We stay as a party, which is great. So you can go and play multiple matches together without having to disband at the end of every match. This is really handy if you're playing with friends. You just party up, get into a lobby, we'll keep going. So, you know what? I leveled up. We
You
can see that
leveled
little
up.
star there. So let's go see what we want to put for abilities here. We got 2 different trees here. Primal Spirit. We got Protection. Protection's obviously more, you know, support. Primal Spirit's a little bit more aggressive. So because we have 2 mages here, 2 keepers, we could actually choose to either go both Protection. We could have 1 go Protection, 1 go Primal Spirit, go a little more aggressive. I'm gonna try and go a little more aggressive because you know, I like using a few more of the attacks there. So we can see here one of my starting abilities is Chain Lightning. I've got 2 points. I can either choose to, you know, go into Arcing Surge, which is the upgrade for the Chain Lightning, or you can see down here we have different different abilities. Now the diamonds, those are going to be our active abilities, and then we also have the circles, which is our passives. So you're going to kind of build your way through the different tree here.
Yeah, so we have the passives, which are the circles. We have the active abilities, the diamonds, and then you also have like the small diamonds or the upgrades.
The upgrades, exactly. So.
Okay, so choose the 2 ability points you're going to spend.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to.
So, you know, I'm going to go to...
That's actually a good, interesting point also. I'm like, depending on your play style, right? I'm like, if you want to be more offensive, like you said, you're going to find abilities that suit you.
Exactly.
So you can have 2 mages, well, 2 keepers, but they still play very different.
Very different characters as a result. Yeah, so for example here, I might look at the Dispel, which is going to be very handy for some of the other enemies. Take down their barrier. But we can also see here, we have a different path here to go down, more of a support class. And, you know, actually Fade Step looks really interesting. I'm a big fan of that one. So let's take this one. We're going to apply that. That's our passive. To get Rejuvenating Barrier, it's going to mean we're going to get our mana back a little bit quicker. And we're going to use Fade Step. That's a nice evasive maneuver, so apply that. And you can see at the bottom right, actually, it applied it directly to the Y button, but I like having that more on the B button, so I can go and map that there to the B button. Now it's doubled up because I only have 3 active abilities right now, but as we level up more, we can actually introduce more abilities, and we can swap out that Y button afterwards. So.
All right, we're going to do a rotation now.
Yeah.
So Billy Busker's going to go downstairs, while we're going to have Luke Barrett joining us. Actually, Luke and Derek Holland, you guys can show up here.
All right. So I'll
Thank
swap
you,
out.
Billy.
Yeah, thanks. And I'll be playing downstairs. And of course, I've now just made some awesome decisions for how Luke's going to play. So I'll step out here, folks.
All right. So, folks, while we're making the transition here, I'm going to go through actually.
Oh, maybe while we're swapping all those over, Scylla, you can tell us a little bit more about the 12 characters and kind of how they work and the idea behind them, because they are all written and developed characters, right?
Yes. So actually, I'm going to go through here on the screen. You can see that I'm showing the 12 characters here, right? So we do have these 12 characters, and we wanted the characters to be different from what we did with Mass Effect 3 multiplayer in a way. So we wanted them to have more personality. We wanted them to have more attitude. So each of the character, they have a specific voiceover. They're going to have different banters. They're going to be chatting with each other during the mission when you go dungeon crawling. Yeah, Luke, you can select whatever class you want to play. Make sure you have the other headset so that you can talk with your party members as well. They know what's going on. Yeah, it's kind of a double setup. Yeah. So yeah, we have the 12 characters, so they have personality. One of the writers, we work with the writers and the concept artists and recreate the personality for the character, and we go through how we want them to be perceived. Right, we have some setting up a little bit here. Right, don't hang yourself. All right, so we have Luke Barrett here with us. He also worked on the combat team, designing all the cool abilities you can see in the game, and many more things. Oh, you're probably muted.
Okay.
All right, we can hear.
Yeah, so just gonna, hello everyone. Just gonna take a look at Billy, what Billy has brought onto me.
I think he got the Fade Step for you.
Yeah, so this is our very high mobility ability. And we've also got the regeneration. So what this is basically is 35% whenever I bury some
Can you tell me a little bit about how you can play characters different way? Because there's not one way to play a character.
Yeah, so playing as the keeper, you are a support role, but as you can see, we've got 2 trees for it. So if I was playing it and had ability points to spend, which I don't, because somebody spent them,
You will have some.
I would have I would have taken this, which is the more offensive route. This is the upgrade to chain lightning, and it makes the chain lightning bounce quite a bit more, increasing the damage by quite a bit. As you can see further down in this tree, this is more the offensive stuff, with the bottom being energy barrage, which is really cool, but probably be a lot of gaming before we get to that. We got a bit of money. I want to
You want to buy a chest?
buy a chest, yeah.
All right, let's buy a chest. Let's see
But
what we
what
get.
I want is actually this, because I kind of want to get bees.
You
So
want
we'll
potions?
see if we'll see if I get lucky.
And so what are the max levels for
that's okay.
characters, and do you level across the board, or do they level individually?
So that's a good question. So each character you can level up to level 20. And actually, we're going to map the potions here,
Yep.
by the way, as you can see on the screen.
I'm
Luke
gonna
is doing
take
it.
this one too. This is a lyrium potion, which actually will increase my damage as a mage. Really has set me up more support role, but as an offensive player, I'm gonna try to multitask. And I
Alright.
think we are good to go.
So whenever you guys are ready, let's give it a spin. So going back to the question, what was the question again? Kono?
For max levels and how you level across characters.
Okay, so you can level up your character all the way to level 20, right? And of course, like the first levels, it's easier for you to level up in the beginning.
So yeah, you start at level 1 with 2 abilities, and then you're gonna get obviously 19 more points. There are way more things you can spend points on than what you get points for, so choose very wisely.
But that's on purpose, right?
That's on purpose, yes. So the idea is you can play, there's probably about 4 or 5 really effective ways to play each of the kits. Obviously, you will probably come up with your own ways that we never thought of. That usually happens once the game launches. But I have been playing a lot of multiplayer in the last month or so, and also having worked on all the abilities, I know how most of them work. So I would say, yeah, about 4 or 5 different ways to play each one.
And once you hit level 20, you can also do something with your character, right? You can promote it, right?
Yep. That'll give you a bonus to your stats for all of your characters. Depending on your base class, if you're a rogue, a warrior, or a mage, you will get a different stat, and that will affect all of your characters.
So if you promote your keeper, what do you get?
You get +1 willpower.
Okay.
And that
For
will,
all the characters.
for all your
multiplayer
characters, yeah, they get willpower. Yeah. So here's the new skill that we've got, which is blink. It is a
The fade
mobility
step,
thing.
right?
Yeah, the fade step.
So actually, Fate Step is a nice ability, because you can use it offensively and defensively too.
Yeah, you'll see if you get the upgrade, it actually does damage. Right now, it's just a dodge. While you are in this mode, you can control your character. It's a little difficult running at that speed. We're good to go. I can multitask.
Yeah, remember to communicate with your party. I know it's a double role because you're speaking with me, speaking with our fans, and also speaking with your party. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to be a bit more offensive here. So the chain lightning ability basically will bounce off. Let's see if you can show it. Yeah, so you can see it's hitting 2 guys there. I usually like to use this to actually get into better offensive positions, but it makes me a little more vulnerable. So hopefully my team can
I noticed you
compensate.
did a combo also. What does that mean? Like right trigger? What did you do there?
So this is, if you, on the end of the basic attack chain, you will get the, let's see if I can show you. Oh, we'll get a guy with it. You get the multi-hit. That is only at the very end of the attack chain, so you basically get a payoff for holding the basic attack a bit longer.
So you can choose to attack like once, like once
Yeah,
by once,
so
but you can also like
yeah,
press and hold, right?
Yeah, it's easier, well, for me to hold it, but yeah, you can mash it if you want, hold it a bit and mash it. We've got branching between actions done pretty well, so all of those things flow very smoothly depending how you want to play. Throw a barrier here.
Now I also notice you guys have 2 mages in this party. Is there a set party composition you have to have? Do I have to have a warrior?
You can play this with 4 of the same class if you really want. Some are more advantageous than others. You will ideally want to have 1 of each of the base classes of warrior, mage, and rogue, only because we have all of these treasure doors, and they usually contain really cool stuff. And there is 1 for each class, so.
But there's not just one style of warrior, right?
Nope. There
No.
is a one-handed warrior, a two-handed warrior, as well as a one-handed, two-handed rogue. We've got offense and defense-based things. We've got
And when you add the abilities also. I'm like,
yeah,
you
exactly.
can
And
have
even
more.
even within those, there's the offensive two-handed warrior, the defensive two-handed warrior. These got mages that do support. See if I can beat them to this wall. Yeah.
Now, right now, you guys are a low level, so obviously you're playing on easy, which isn't that easy. But if we up the difficulty and play on a harder
Oh,
thing,
spiders.
what rewards do you get for that?
The higher the difficulty you go, the more gold and more or better items you get. Additionally, oh man, the sorry, spiders are always scary. These doors are especially bad if anyone has arachnophobia, because you never know until you open the door if it's going to be a vat full of spiders. But yeah, so the higher difficulties change the difficulty quite a bit. You'll see each wave gets a little harder. So the higher we go, I'll show you when I get to the next wave that the level of the creatures will be up by 1. But it's just more money. Here we go.
So one of the earlier questions it was about the relation between single player and multiplayer. So multiplayer, the multiplayer mode is completely optional for Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm like, play it if you want.
Yep.
If you don't like multiplayer, that's fine. And if you do play multiplayer, the economies are separate between single player and multiplayer. That's important to mention that. So you can play your single player 100+ hour campaign and have your economy there, but the multiplayer economy doesn't transfer to single player and vice versa. So all the gold that you acquire here, all the potions you have, they're related with multiplayer and vice versa for single player.
Yeah, and one of the things to note too is all of the abilities that you're seeing here in multiplayer are actually single player ones as well. We have done a very good job of having abilities that work really well in team scenarios as well as in a single player campaign.
So combat is very similar. I think that the,
Yeah.
the tactical cam is the big difference, right?
Yes, exactly. We have no tactical cam. You get to play this in. It turns up the pace quite a bit in multiplayer, which plays for this, or plays to this game style, I should say.
Yeah, so sometimes in the treasure room, I'm like, you're gonna find more than gold. I was waiting for that to happen. It is a random possibility, so you don't know. Sometimes you just get gold. Sometimes you're gonna find enemies also when you open a chest, and sometimes you're gonna find some cool items. Let's wait for the opportunity. Let's see if one of the treasure rooms is gonna show them.
So you guys suggested that there were no tactical cam in multiplayer. How do you have tactics in our multiplayer session?
So the tactics are, instead of pausing the game, going into the overhead view and saying you go here, you do this, you cast this ability, you have to actually coordinate with your teammates and say, hey, person who's playing the warrior, please don't abandon me and let me die horribly. Please block off this choke point. That's use voice chat for that. Hopefully you are playing with friends or friendly people on the internet. Sometimes the internet is a scary place.
And you can use also the D-pad also, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
this is my
there's
target.
callouts for, there's a thank you. You can do a defend here. There's attack my target is one of the more handy ones and shit.
And do you need 4 people to start a match, or can you try to go crazy solo?
You can play it solo. You will not do well.
It's gonna be hard on purpose.
Yeah, it is designed to play with 4. You can 3 is probably what I would recommend if you want to go with the most minimal. But yeah, definitely 4 with the best experience. It's balanced around having 4 people, so.
We want it to be a party-based adventure, right?
Yeah.
We want it to be a team.
Yeah, and I should
team
mention,
experience.
with all of the abilities that use this targeting mode, you can cancel it at any time.
Good point.
And then it won't take a resource, which is handy.
Treasure room.
It also goes through your character pretty well. And there is a max range to it too, so you can't just drive around the level and explore. Do
we have a new question? No? Right. Open chest. Let's see what's going to happen.
Alright, so hopefully
You guys have been lucky
yeah,
today.
we keep our lucky streak and not get enemies. Oh.
Alright. So sometimes when you
Or
open a
run away.
chest, you're going to find some enemies that are
Yeah, so
defending
this
the
one
chest.
is an arcane horror. He is one of our undead guys. He does mostly spirit damage and is very scary. Oh
And he
my.
teleports all the time.
Yeah, and he teleports all the time. So if you are a melee, this fight is a little bit difficult. Try to dodge this stuff. Just noticing I'm slacking on casting barrier on everybody. So if anyone dies, it is definitely my fault.
That is actually a good point. I'm like, you can definitely notice in Dragon Age multiplayer when one of the team members is not clear his role, it kind of affects the party like right there, right?
Yeah, if our archer was not casting caltrops in doorways and basically providing a little bit of suppression and doing enough damage, you would notice, and like I am doing, if our keeper is not doing enough barriering, people will start dying. Should be noted that, you know, just because we are using a barrier-based keeper, you can play it without it. Given the 3 classes that we have, it would be a bit tricky, but there are other classes that are based around evasion or dots or even lifesteal, with things like Reaver abilities.
I love playing with the Reaver.
Yeah, the Reaver is really fun.
So
Hopefully
the
we get to
Reaver is
show
the
that at some
two-handed
other
warrior,
time.
right? Yep.
Yeah, and it is based around blood and damage and violence.
How many characters do we start with, and how do we get more?
So you start with 3 characters unlocked, and as you progress through, I'm like, as you play the game, you're gonna get gold coins, and with the gold coins, you're gonna buy some chests. So you can luckily get one of the characters when you buy a chest. You can get the armor.
If you're very lucky.
Yeah, you can get the armor that unlocks that character. Another way that you can do it is also that you can craft the armor for the specific character that you want to unlock. So if I want to play with the Reaver, the two-handed warrior, so I can get a lot of items, I can salvage all those items, basically melt them, and I'm going to get crafting materials out of it. And with the crafting materials, I can create the armor for the Reaver. And once I have that armor, then I unlock
the materials you need are relative to the class you're trying to unlock to. So if you want to be unlocking a mage-based class, you will be wanting to melt down.
So there's a lot more than just gold and interest.
Oh yes, definitely. And another important thing, like since we're talking about the economy, let's say that Luke is playing with a keeper and he wants to level up his keeper all the way to level 20, but he got like a sword or an axe or a hammer, anything like that. Like he cannot use them with the mage, but he can, like I said, he can salvage, and once he does that, he's going to have lots of crafting materials. With those crafting materials, he can try to unlock a new character with an armor, or maybe you can use it for weapon modifications too, right?
Yep. One of the problems I always run into is getting a really nice rare weapon for another class, and then you're like, oh, I've been trying to level my keeper up, but now I kind of want to play the Reaver, I kind of want to play this because I got this really cool weapon. So I end up with an account that has, you know, level 10 of everything rather than one level 20.
I think that's a good problem to have if you're getting like rare weapons.
Yeah, oh, we got our event guy here. The stalkers are very vicious because they will teleport or go invisible and run behind people, and it gets pretty deadly on your support classes.
So one of the questions we were getting from the fans is if we can respec the character. So yes, you can respec the character. Once you promote the character level 20, basically you go back to, the character goes back to level 1 and you can restart, right?
Yep.
You can restart.
And then by that time, hopefully you've played your character enough and you probably have a better, oh, I like this ability, I didn't like this one, I don't, you know, certain abilities are built for playstyles. So, you know, I prefer the offensive playstyle, so I probably wouldn't get more defensive stuff. Though, to be fair, having this dodge is very handy. I would probably be dying quite a bit more if I didn't have it, so we can thank Billy for that.
Thank you, Billy. I noticed that once in a while in your screen on the right side, I can see like a green spider web. What is that?
Yeah, so that is the weaken debuff. One of the Venatori archers on his snipe attack has that debuff. What it does is it reduces the amount of damage I am doing by 20%. However, I believe it's only physical damage, so as a mage I kind of don't have to worry about it too much. As a warrior, or especially as an archer, you will really feel the difference in the amount of damage you do, which completely limits your roll. So try not to get hit by that. They last, depending on type of creature, it lasts anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad, but if there are a bunch of archers in the back, you'll be getting quite a few of them.
So another question that we got from the fans was about trading. Like, do we have trading in Dragon Age multiplayer? We do not have trading in Dragon Age multiplayer. What you can do, as I mentioned before, once you get a weapon that you don't like, you can salvage that weapon, and once you do that, you're going to get crafting materials. And with the crafting materials, you're going to choose what you're going to do. You're going to craft like a new hilt for your sword, if you want to do like
And there's always something you want with crafting.
there is
materials.
always something. Yeah,
You-
lots of possibilities.
you're
We're gonna go
always-
through the armor
yeah.
actually once we level up a little bit more, get some gold coins. We can do some or if you guys get some cars actually that
Yeah.
have
Hopefully we get
weapon
lucky and get some
modifications,
cool
yeah.
weapons.
And if I get stuff for one character, can I trade that between my characters, or is it locked to a single guy?
That's a very good point. I'm like, so the inventory is shared within your account. So if Luke, for example, he got like a really awesome sword, and he does have, for example, like the Legionnaire, he can just swap to the Legionnaire and get that sword and use that sword, right? As long as it is a weapon that you can use with that
For that
character.
class, yeah.
Yeah, for that class.
I noticed you guys entered Zone 3. What does that mean? What are the differences between the zones other than maybe a little bit harder each time?
So we do have 5 zones, right, in every mission that you played, and as you go further, it's going to be more difficult. You're going to find different types of enemies, and they're going to be a little bit more difficult, and
Yeah,
it
so
gets
you
more
can
challenging.
you can see now that the level has gone up significantly from when we started, and I'll try to show it again later when we hopefully make it to the end this time.
Yeah, on the top of the screen it shows the little 3, level 3, level 5.
And
yeah.
that's, if you target lock someone, you get a bit more information about them. But by the end, I think it goes up to 5 or 6 on the first difficulty.
And if,
And
you,
then
and if you get to zone 5, what happens there?
at Zone 5, there is a very separate event. You have to try to defend a point. There is a boss character, or boss type character of the faction, so depending on what faction you're playing, you'll get a different boss. They are very scary and do quite a bit of damage. So it is tough. Some of them are better suited to be fought against by, like for instance, the Demon faction. If you came in with the Templar, you would have an easier time against the boss. Whereas this faction, would be better with more armored characters because they are more physically oriented.
And we have 3 factions, right, in Dragon Age Multiplayer. We have the Venatori.
Yep, the Venatori, which are the more humanoid ones. We have the Red Templars, which are they're corrupted people. I don't want to spoil too much of the story, so we'll just say they're Templars. They are red. and then the Demon faction, which is your fire-breathing rage demons and your ice-shooting despair demons and shades and horrors and things like that.
Speaking about spoilers, actually, that's a good point. So I think the Dragon Age Multiplayer, one of the cool things about Dragon Age Multiplayer is that you can play with your friends, and there are no spoilers for the story. Single player.
Yep.
I mean, you're gonna learn more about combat. You're gonna learn more about the enemies that you're gonna face, the abilities you can use. But there's no spoilers, so you can have your single player campaign. And for example, if Luke is playing already for 20 or 30 hours, and I just started Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm afraid that you're not gonna spoil the story for me. No problem. We jump into multiplayer. We have fun together. Kill a lot of enemies, and no spoilers. So we can come back and share that cool moment we had last night and talk about it the next day.
And am I able to join matches with my friends who are way higher levels than me?
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Is it region locked, or can I play with people in Europe?
Okay, so let's go for the first one. Can I join my friends with different levels?
Yes, you can. It is built. Certain classes are more beneficial at higher levels and lower levels. For instance, the Keeper is a really good companion to have with a higher level character because barrier is useful all the time. You will not be as strong, but you can still compete quite a bit with your friends if they're level 20. And even at level 20, you can still die in routine. Like if you were level 20 and you tried to play this by yourself, if you are not paying attention, don't have the right gear, or picked really ridiculous abilities, you will die. It is not a cakewalk at that point.
Could we say that the gear plays a bigger role than the level of the character?
Yes. The gear is probably the most important aspect of it. The weapons you're using are very close second because the damage that all of your abilities do are based on the weapon you are using. So, oh boy.
Oh, stalker right behind you.
Save me. These guys are not fun when you're playing a mage. They have a tendency to disappear from the tank and appear behind the mages and kill them. And it looks like we've got a defensive mission here. We are defending this fellow, the Inquisition captain.
Yep.
Not really sure why he has ventured into this terrible place, but we will try to get him out as best we can.
He was lost.
Yeah.
You guys are saving him.
He took a wrong turn somewhere.
Oh, and also the other question was related if you could play with people from different regions. Yes, you can. If you're here in North America and you want to play with someone in Europe, you can. So, of course, the matchmaking system is going to try to find people that are closer to you, that have a better ping, so you're gonna have a better experience when you quick match. But if you want, I mean, like you have friends, you can just send him an invite, and you can join a match with him wherever he is in the world. Of course, the lower the ping, the better the experience, as any multiplayer game.
Yeah, I should mention, let's see if I can get it here. So sometimes you'll see these words popping up, like shocked there or blocked. A lot of our status effects, like debuffs basically, will come up as text. They are fairly important. I don't know if we have an ability to do a legitimate combo. No, we don't. I don't think we have the things. But there are combinations of skills to pull off. I find it easier to do in multiplayer than in single player.
So we can explain it, right? Like
yeah,
you can freeze someone.
The combo system is basically the easiest way to explain it is if you have a hard crowd control ability like a freeze or a paralyze, you can then combo it up with something that really is a more impactful attack, like a really strong sword or shield bash or something like that, and that will perform a combo. The effects of that combo are dependent on, one, the starting ability that you use. So if I use freeze and then hit with a warrior shield slam, it will be different than if I hit with sleep and then hit with a shield slam, for instance.
So that's another cool thing, because like it also requires a little bit of communication, right? Like if you want to do a combo, you can say that you're gonna try to freeze the enemy, and you freeze the enemy.
Oops. Yeah.
And the tank can kind of shatter him to pieces.
Try not to put the Revenant in front of this archer. The guy you're defending has probably why he's in this dungeon, has a tendency to get himself into trouble and run right up into a sword for some reason. He's not very smart.
Yeah, as an archer he should be more ranged.
Yeah, he should be more ranged, but you know.
That's why you need to defend him.
Yeah, that's why you need to defend him.
From himself.
Yes, but I was going to say the debuff that I do have here is the shocked one, and what that does is it actually drops the resistance to fire, lightning, and cold on this Revenant by 20%, which is pretty handy because we have 2 mages here. So that doesn't stack, just in case somebody's going to ask that question.
Alright, so now that you defeated the enemy, you can open the chest.
And maybe get an item this time.
If you guys get lucky.
You're not.
Not an item now.
Today.
Yeah, sometimes you're gonna find an item. So basically, a card is gonna pop up,
yep.
and you're gonna see. You can even see if it's a rare item, right? You can see the border
It'll
of the
show
color.
you the border of it. A nice thing to note too is when one person gets an item, I believe every single person gets an item as well.
They may not be of the same rarity.
They may not be of the same rarity,
and
which
definitely
is always
not
comical,
the same item.
Because then when you get a blue, you get to say, "Yay, I got a blue," and everyone else says, "Oh, I only got a common one." Though the common ones are really nice, depending if you're trying to unlock a new class.
Oh, someone is down.
Yeah, this is where it's gonna start getting harder. What are we? Ooh, okay, we got enough barrier here. My barrier is up in about 5 seconds. Cooldowns on abilities vary from. I think the shortest one is 2 seconds on. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I think that guy was still alive. 2 seconds. This is a lightning mage, so this guy's a lightning mage, and I basically do no damage to him as a lightning user. Right here. Certain creatures, the resistances on creatures is mostly intuitive. The rage demon that is made of fire does not take damage from fire. The creatures that are made of lightning do not take damage from lightning.
So you talked about your cooldowns, but what about the mana or stamina for your character?
Yeah, so right now it's not too much of a problem with only 3 abilities. Also, one of my abilities has a very long cooldown, so I usually have enough to regenerate. But if you're playing an archer, I find it happens the fastest is you'll be real excited and get your first 4 abilities as offensive abilities, but then you'll start finding that you're stamina gated, so you can't just spray all of your abilities the whole time. You got to use them very tactically.
So you need to keep an eye on the mana and the stamina.
Yep. And one thing to note then is like it regens fairly quick, but Billy actually got the mana regeneration rate on it, so it's actually regenerating 35% faster, which is a good pickup.
Thank you, Billy.
Yeah.
But not so good as more lightning damage, right?
Yeah, I still would have taken the lightning damage, but.
Now, is there different clothing and armor we can have for the characters, and does that affect their appearance?
So each of the characters, I believe, has 3 different looks, or different colors for each of the armor sets that they have. And then when you get higher level, there is a stronger. Oh, I was hoping the tank would save me. Stray arrows got through. I got barrier once I get up. Nope. Yes. Oh, good. This is not going well.
Looking like a party wipe.
We need to get this ball of archers away.
They're all clustered. Good for some shock
Oh.
damage.
Forgot I put this on. This is gonna let me poison things.
And
So
with
I
all
get
of-
3 attacks with poison here.
With all of
Oh.
you guys, I guess, close to death now,
Oh, crawl around the. Oh.
might be a good time to explain a little bit how health works in multiplayer.
Yeah, so every character has a set amount of health. The warriors have more than the rogues, and then the mages have the least amount. Every time you level up, you will get a bit more health. There is no ability in multiplayer that can heal you, so you have to rely on either the health potions you have, which you can only bring a maximum of 2 of, or you have to rely on someone casting barrier on you or generating guard yourself.
Or getting
as a
to the end
warrior.
of the zone. Also.
Or getting to the end of the zone, yes, to heal up. That is. So if, as a tip, if you are close to the end and you're low on health, you probably want to risk it and not use your health potions because they're very vital. It's probably better in most cases to go down and then get revived by a teammate and then get the free health rather than use your very important potions, because once you run out of those, you start dying really quick.
And for those of us who like an extra
Right.
level of difficulty, is there friendly fire?
Let's see, 25
Uh,
staff kills.
So
What
no friendly fire in
Oh.
multiplayer, right? I'm like, you
I
have
got beat.
no friendly fire in multiplayer.
No, there is no friendly fire multiplayer.
In single player, you can turn it on or off if you want. Extra difficult.
But I got a kill streak of 5.
I got a few medals,
It's
and
probably when I went on a rampage of some kind.
you probably level up again.
Yeah.
Now you can pick a
So
little bit more
let's,
abilities.
yeah, let me go through this. Like we were saying at the beginning, Frost Step is the upgrade to Fade Step. It will actually make my Blink ability do damage. This typically promotes me to be more aggressive and actually use it to go into fights rather than using it defensively.
So not only you do damage,
I'm
you
gonna
can
get
you can
this
freeze
because
them
it's
also,
awesome.
right? You can freeze them when you go through.
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it will chill them.
Yeah, chill them. Yeah.
So what the chill debuff does is it makes their movement speed and attack speed very slightly slower, which is quite handy if you are trying to run away from something, which, you know, when you get further into the level typically happens.
Which
I'm
one's
going to leave the last point for whomever sits down next, just in case they want blur or they want to start. Yeah, I'm much nicer than Billy. Unless they want to play another class too, is probably fine. But yeah, I got the upgrade to Chain Lightning, which gives it more bounces, and the distance bonus helps a lot. A lot of the time, early enough, especially with so many archers, they will spread out in a way where you can't use Chain Lightning. The way this ability is designed is if you use it against one person, you will be sad and you have done the ability wrong. You always want to be hitting 2 people with it to get the maximum effect. So as it says here, it hits 4 times. That is if there are 2 people. If there's only one character, it only bounces once, as it is a chain and not a
So try
single
to
blast.
use when
Make
the
sure,
enemies are
yeah,
clustered,
make
right?
sure there are always 2 people to use this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your teammates may yell at you for not being cool. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Fly around them quickly. This is another crowd control one, as is this one. This tree is pretty favor of primal, yeah, lightning and stuff. And then Seeker Swarm at the bottom, this is what I would go for right here as my offensive keeper. If you were a more defensive based one, you'd probably want to get Static Cage, super good, and same with Disruption Field. These are very, very high tier. You can see by the cooldowns, 32 seconds.
All right, so now we're gonna do rotation. So we're gonna have thank you, Luke. Thanks for
Thank
playing
you.
with us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Scylla.
keep playing with us downstairs. Keep up the good work.
See if I can take this off without.
So we're gonna have Amelia. Yeah, we're gonna have Amelia Van Hayden, one of our gameplay programmers for Mulitplayer. She's gonna join us, and we also have Derek Holland. Derek, show up here. Only if you brought the hat. Yeah. So Derek, this is live. It's gonna be a cozy couch, I guess.
Doesn't work with the hat.
Doesn't? Can you guys hear us?
How we doing? All right.
All
I'm
right.
gonna have to remove the hat, folks. Sorry.
All right. So this is Derek Holland. Work with us, QA for Multiplayer Online. And we have Amelia. Amelia, please take a seat. I guess we can all three seat here.
Oh yeah, it's a 3-seater. Love seat.
Yay. So,
Hello,
Amelia,
hello.
you're gonna play with the mage?
I am. I was doing some fantastic legionnaring downstairs.
Oh yes, you
but
did really well as a tank.
Now that's in Mr. Luke's hands.
Let's see. Do you have enough go to? Well, actually, you have 1 ability point to spend. So,
I'm personally a fan of Fade Step, and we've already got that.
That's good.
Elementalist is my favorite mage. They have rockets, and there's no rockets on. Let's go with Mind Blast or Clean Burn.
Yeah, clean burn first, then the Mind Blast.
And I want some potions because I think we need to get some bees.
These are always good. I like.
I know Luke tried for some, but I think my luck is better.
Let's see your luck. Rock armor, healing potion, Years of the Dead, and the mighty offensive tonic.
No bees. Better luck next time.
Roll again.
And even fire, so that's kind of like a fire grenade of sorts. Electrical resistance tonic. Confusion grenade. No bees. Alright.
Someday.
We can dream.
So Amelia is also like mapping the potions now, as you can see. It's kind of a depending on your play style, you can only take 4 potions to the match, 2 of each. So it's important for her to choose the potions that she want to take into the battle.
I'm gonna go with.
Did chests or bad guys ever drop potions that we can use?
No, they do not drop potions. No. What you can find, like we mentioned previously, once you open a chest in the treasure room, you may find an item, and the item can be an armor, which is going to unlock a new character, or maybe an armor for a character that you have already. So it's a different look for the character. You can also get like a new weapon or a new weapon modification. Right. Let's go into the match. So Amelia is going to play the keeper. We have like more level up characters, level 5 characters, all of them. So you see that in 1 hour you manage to level up all the way to level 5, which is cool. And now everybody has 4 abilities, right? Well, up to 4 abilities, depending if they didn't pick all passives.
Now, do we have another class Amelia might want to play, or are we going to keep with the keeper?
Well, we could change if she gets. Do you want to continue with the Legionnaire, Amelia, and show how to play with the Legionnaire? Well, I guess it's kind of too late because everybody was like
late.
ready up.
Yeah.
Not this time. Next time, guys.
All right.
Almost.
We go with the mage. Let's roll with the mage.
We promise Twitch we will rotate our character selection next time.
Yes.
Amelia does well with keeper.
I could
Good
try.
choice.
I could try and be a Legionnaire keeper. I mean, I could get it in the front line.
I want to see that.
I don't think it'll work though.
No, you're too squishy as a keeper.
The effort
But
that counts.
but for the warriors, you kind of can, right? Or you can be the primary tank or the secondary tank. If you do have 2 warriors in your party.
So I feel like even if we don't beat the match, you know, we've bonded as a team, and we've grown as human beings. So it's not so bad. I'm gonna change my settings really quick because I play the right way.
Now,
And-
one thing
Oh.
that I don't know if people have managed to hear, but if we had the volume a lot louder, they probably would, is there's actually banter between the players. So can you talk to me a little bit about how, like, these characters actually have personalities? It was written by Cheryl Chi.
Yeah, they do have lots of personality. Actually, Cheryl did a great job writing the characters and their personality, putting lots of that personality when you're in the match. You can see them. They talk to each other. Like for example, the Legionnaire. He comes from the deep roads. He's more polite kind of a guy. You're gonna have the Reaver. She's much more aggressive and she wants to take control of everything. Some of the mages, I don't know why they have a big ego, right? So you're gonna see that in the match as well. And it can be funny also if you have 2 of the same mages, like 2 keepers or 2 elementalists in the same party. You're gonna see them making jokes with each other, or making compliments to each other.
Elementalist comes preloaded with all the sass, and that is why he's the best mage,
And that is why Amelia likes the Elementalist.
obviously. I have a good amount of sass.
So in the minimap, we didn't explain it before, but if you see the red dots in the minimap, you can look in the bottom left corner, you see the arrows or the dots, those are the enemies. All the golden icons are objectives for you, so it may be like the final area for the zone, which is the banner that you can see there. The golden dots are your friends, where your friends are. And sometimes you're going to see a question mark, which is a treasure room, or if it is an event, it's a diamond, golden diamond.
And just a little note that it's kind of handy to have some of those shortcut routes as well, where you can actually use them strategically to flank the enemy times too.
That all depends on how confident you are. Usually opening up a shortcut leads to a very quick death.
Yeah.
And depending on who is opening up that shortcut, that is true.
Amelia, actually, you worked a lot in the HUD as well, right? I'm like, do you want to talk a little bit about the things you did on the HUD? And
Yeah, there's some little details you might not notice right away. So if you look at the health bars, there's little black pips on each of the individual party members' health bars, and that shows kind of like the maximum health. The more health you have, the more pips you have. So you know, as you level up and you prestige your characters, your character stats will go up, and eventually you'll get more pips. And that's a really good way to easily, at a glance, tell which characters are beefier than others.
so if you look at the warrior, even in the, like right now, you can see the warriors. You can see that they have more peeps, right? Like the legionnaire, for example.
Yep.
So it kind of gives you an idea that it's a bad thing for the mage to be in the front, basically.
Yep. Another thing that was suggested by Grant, our lead designer, which was I actually really liked, was there's little colored borders around the portraits on each player, and that kind of lets them stand out. And those are assigned to your slot in the lobby. So like the blue icon outline or the orange icon outline, those are preset, but it really helps them stand out.
So who is this guy right here? What's going on?
The Inquisition informant. So we've been sent into this tomb by the Inquisition to kind of extract this guy. He got lost in here informing some evildoers, I guess. And so we've got to escort him to a safe place.
And I noticed Fade Step, one of my personal favorite abilities in this whole game for sure, is an escape ability that kind of every character is usually given a gap closing or a gap escaping ability, right?
Yep, and so that's the interesting thing is you've got kind of a choice in gameplay there. So like if you're a person who really likes mobility and really likes to dodge and sort of line of sight people, like you can use one of your 4 ability slots for dodge because it's on the tree and everyone has an ability like that. But if you don't really feel like that's necessary, you don't have to pick it.
Nice barrier, nice barrier.
Yeah, the barrier actually works on the informant as well, which is really cool.
Yep.
And you can put the barrier on yourself also, right?
Yep. And I don't know if we explained it already, but if I barrier someone else and they take damage, I get support XP for that. So if you notice at the end, when the leaderboards are ticking up, the support classes who aren't doing a lot of damage still compete with the amount of XP that they've given to the team, because supporting counts just as much as knocking people's teeth out.
And for people who don't know, how does the barrier work? Does it make you invincible, or what does it do?
So barrier applies, it's sort of like temporary health. You can see that I've just applied a barrier to myself and I've got that blue bar. It ticks down pretty quickly over time if it's not used up. And then each time I take a hit, it also takes a little bit out of that bar.
Instead of your health bar.
Instead of the health bar, that's right. And you can apply certain different upgrades to the barrier to make it last longer. Or one of the really cool passives is that when you drop below a certain amount of health, you get an instant barrier, so it's sort of like a last chance.
I've always said all summer long at all the events we've gone to, the barrier is one of the most important abilities we have. But it's really one of those abilities you need to coordinate with your team to kind of use effectively.
It definitely needs some coordination. So the person playing the keeper always need, of course, that's hard to show on the stream, but needs to be looking at the cooldown of the barrier, so that as soon as she has a barrier available and there is a fight, I'm like, she's gonna put the barrier on the tank.
Yeah, I'm not paying too much attention to it because we've got 2.
True, you have 2 mages, so one can be more offensive, right?
So we're kind of getting swarmed here, and that's kind of like we talked about earlier. We took a shortcut, and you know, it was nice because it was shorter, but there was a ton of enemies. Luckily, we're level 5 now, and we've got some pretty nice abilities. So.
Oh, you got bonus gold because you completed the event. You saved the informant, right?
Yep, he lives to inform another day.
And are there any kind of executions or team combats or team combos in this?
There are combos. I think Lou talked about them briefly.
Yeah.
But basically, there's a number of different spells that interact. So if a mage freezes someone, and Guardian smashes them, for instance, you'll get a Shatter combo. And there's a couple different combos like that that you can pull off. So if you communicate with your friends and you build a party comp that's combo focused, you can really pull off a bunch of that stuff. And there's challenges based on that. Oh, Nug, yeah. Treasure Nug.
Very important.
Oh yeah, the challenges. I'm like, we haven't mentioned about the challenges at all, actually.
Yeah, so if you really like combos and you're fan of challenges, oh my.
Uh-oh, it's gonna be tough.
Good timing on the barrier.
Then you can actually gain a couple of challenges. And maybe, Scylla, do you want to talk about like the rewards from challenges?
Oh yeah, so we do have more than 200 challenges available at launch for Dragon Age Multiplayer, and all types of challenges. So some are going to be class specific, like for example for the mage. If let's say for example if you kill like 50 people with your staff, you get you complete one challenge, but you have it's a tier challenge, right? You may have like 5 tiers. So once you keep going on the challenge and you complete, let's say, the tier 3 of that challenge, then you may get a reward. The reward can be, for example, a new icon that you can use on your match. So instead of having like a face portrait, maybe it's going to be a different one related with the Dragon Age franchise. You can have also like a new banner that you're going to put in the lobby. So let's say that you're an awesome mage and you're going to have an awesome mage banner, and you can put that on the lobby. It's going to show up for the other players in the lobby. So those are some of the rewards that you can get. And we also gonna bragging rights basically. And we're also gonna bring to Dragon Age Multiplayer, we're gonna bring the weekend challenges. So every weekend we're gonna have like a different challenge that is gonna be for you as an individual and also for the community. So we're gonna say, okay, so if the community, for example, kills, I don't know, like 1 million brutes, let's say Venatori brutes, then everybody's gonna get like a special chest for that weekend challenge. So we're gonna use the full challenge system for that.
So since you guys have 2 keepers here, are you able to stack your barriers at all?
You can, but the cooldowns make it so that you can't infinitely stack barrier, because not only does it tick down on its own, but generally you're taking damage. But
usually it's a better strategy to
tag team it.
Yeah, tag team. So once one barrier goes down, the other keeper goes and throw the barrier.
And so you can try all kinds of crazy combinations of classes, but you'll find that a balanced party will fare much better. So, like we've played, 4 legionnaires and 4 keepers, and you can kind of plot along and get far and have some fun there. But you're not going to do as well as if you have a balanced party.
You'll certainly
a balanced party of good players, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, good players is always required, but.
You'll certainly miss out on some of the treasure rooms as well, since some of those doors are class specific.
So the other thing that might not be so apparent is that so for people who like movement, people who like combat rolls and all that kind of stuff, you can also sprint. You might not be able to tell because it's kind of a small animation blend, but if I'm walking here and I click sprint, you'll see that I get a little bit of an extra pace. And so that helps you when you've left combat or you're running screaming from a Venatori brute. Or you can just fade step.
Oh, it looks like you guys are splitting up. Or no. Yeah, right. Someone is slow. Must be the Legionnaire.
Yeah. Splitting the party always works in horror movies.
That's exactly. Yes.
I think that smoke right there was a stalker.
Could be.
Oh,
yep. Oh God.
Good call. Yeah, he can ruin your day.
Which is actually a good thing, since you notice. I'm like the enemies also have some sort of a telling, right? I'm like you can see when they're about to attack or if they're about to show up. If you pay attention, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of I forget the term now, but yeah, they forecast their attacks.
Looks like you get some aggro, Amelia.
That's cool. I'm a legionnaire.
Yes, you are.
I'm a legionnaire keeper. I'm cool.
Well struck.
So I've noticed you haven't used a health pod, even though you're in the danger zone. Is there a reason for that?
Risk reward. So you only get 2 health potions. So you really gotta save those for when you need them.
2 a session, right?
Per session, yeah.
Per session, yeah.
They refill. So basically, we only had a couple enemies there. So even if I went down, my party probably would have picked me up. But I'm saving my health potions for when stuff really gets crazy. Oh,
Speaking
like
of
right
which,
now.
It's crazy to me.
Yep. So I'm gonna try and stack barrier here so we can get through this.
Oh, you're gonna get all the aggro now.
Good call, I saw the stalker.
All right, ready? Get close. Get close.
All right, nice barrier.
Uh-oh.
Alright, out of the frying pan.
Uh-oh.
Too deep
This
maybe.
could
Looks like-
spell danger for our keeper.
Nope.
Well done.
It did work.
There's a potion.
Alright.
God, that ability is so cool. I could fade step all day.
It's pretty awesome.
Although I usually end up going in the middle of all the characters, and that doesn't help me at all.
Yeah.
Like a Vanguard.
Did you guys
Yeah.
mention the passive that you can add to Fade Step?
I think Luke mentioned that you can add the passive for the Fade Step, and then you do more damage, right? You do like
Yep.
100% damage, I guess.
So you can fly through enemies
Yep.
and damage them at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Does it freeze enemies as well?
Luke was saying that you can chew enemies, so
Yeah.
basically it's a, yeah.
It's a status effect.
Yep. All right, zone number 4. You guys get in there.
Yep. When we
I
had-
believe you can get to zone 5. Let's see.
I believe we're a team. We're bonding. We're
Let's
human
go,
beings.
guys. Let's do it.
So Yep. Yeah.
You see that they're tracking the enemy upstairs so that they can deal with 1 or 2 enemies at a time.
Divide and conquer. Excellent strategy.
So when we took multiplayer out to a couple different conventions and had players play, it was a big deal to get somebody to wave 5. Like there was a couple of teams that did it, and they worked well together, and it was really cool. But they had level 7 characters.
Yep.
And we're level 5 here, so hopefully we can do it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we have as Amelia was saying, like we went to PAX in Seattle, and we also went to EGX in the UK in London, and we had pretty much like 8 teams. During 4 days, we had 8 teams at PAX and 8 teams at the EGX that actually managed to finish the Zone 5, defeat the boss. But they had, everybody had a level 7 character.
Yeah, and that was really cool because a number of teams that actually ended up beating it, like they waited in line multiple times to play the game, and that was a couple-hour wait, and that was really cool to see the enthusiasm and eventually their victory. So
Yeah, people were really excited there. Patrick was with us.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing between how many people we went through. Like, we don't make it easy for them. These are a challenge. You really do have to work together as a team. I know you guys aren't seeing it right now, but communication is a key for a lot of these successful runs.
Yep.
And whenever you guys finally do get to the end, is there a big bad last boss you got to face off against?
Yep. That's
Yep.
usually the thing, is that you gain power to the point to where you can make it to wave 5, but you can't get past the guy at the end. There's usually a boss there. It's we call them commanders. So each faction is a commander, and usually you feel like you're doing pretty well, and then they show up and everybody gets wrecked.
And they can be deceiving also, right? He's kind of a slow, let's say for example, the Venatori.
Mm-hmm.
So the commander is kind of like a slow-moving guy, kind of, he doesn't look that tough.
Until he swings the sword.
Until he swings
Yep.
his sword.
You don't want to make it mad. Oh no, I think I aggroed a second group.
Uh-oh,
yes.
uh-oh.
Thank Fade Step for that. You're pulling a Patrick strategy now.
Don't you dare talk bad about Fade Step.
Oh, they're controlling the choke point. Let's see. Dealing 1 by 1.
So if you really wanted to, and you weren't the nicest teammate, can you Leroy Jenkins everyone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure you can.
Yep. It's a teamwork-based game, and if you're not working as a team,
I highly recommend that for lessons learned.
yes.
Oh, nice barrier.
And there's no friendly damage, right? Like that lightning is never going to strike your teammates.
Nope.
Yeah, no friendly fire. So you see that they're playing like really well together. I'm like, they're sticking there at the choke point, and well, yeah, and then Amelia just like goes straight there and
That was
shocked
the
them
best
all.
lightning strike ever.
Like I said, I'm an aggro mage, so I don't like to sit in the back. I like to keep the aggression,
All right.
The aggro Legionnaire Keeper.
because I'm a keeper.
Oh,
Get it?
the stalker. Oh, here he goes.
Oh yeah, he just disappeared. And he's a boss this time. So he's a little bigger, a little tougher.
Because you can surprise them too. Like you can fade step into the middle, and everybody's like, "What?" And then you just run away.
Yeah.
Or die.
It's nice of you to accept all those arrows on their behalf.
I'm tanking.
You definitely are.
I'm the off tank. So anybody who's joining us, basically, one of the core functions of the mode is that all XP and gold is shared. So it's a teamwork-based game. Oh my, I'm in trouble here.
Oh yes, you are.
And so that means that you don't have to compete against your teammates for experience. All the experience each individual person gains is given to everybody else. And also when you loot gold, everybody gets the same amount. So you can kind of compete amongst each other to see who gets the most XP for the team in the session, but it's all shared, so.
Yeah, it is definitely a teamwork and team rewards as well, right?
And what happens if somebody leaves or drops mid-match?
Well, if someone drops, I'm like, they can, you can, let's say that something happened with their connection and they drop, like they can just like go and quick match again into the same game or receive an invitation from their friends.
Yeah.
And in case that he doesn't come back, someone else can join into the match also and just drop in.
And any gold he's earned up to that point has already been put into his inventory as well. He won't lose out on.
That's one thing I was really adamant about is that I think one of the most frustrating experiences is that, you know, like you get kicked out of a match and you've got a ton of experience or progression or whatever and you lose it. And I wanted to make sure that that happens like not at all or as little as possible. And so one thing we did is like Derek said, golden items are atomic, which means the second that you get them, they're granted to your character. So if you leave the match or you're kicked or whatever, you always get your golden items. And your XP and progress towards challenges and stuff like that. If you leave a match, as long as your team doesn't get to the next checkpoint, when you rejoin, you'll save that stuff.
Congratulations,
So
you made it to wave 5.
We've made it to wave 5.
Zone 5, all right.
Well done.
So Zone 5, let's explain a little bit how it works. So you can see that they enter the Zone 5, no enemies are attacking or anything, because they have to place the Inquisition banner so that the fight can start. If you look at the minimap, you're going to see that there is the golden icon there on the bottom left, showing where the Inquisition banner is. So you guys can move there, but before you put the Inquisition banner, it's probably a good idea to discuss what kind of strategy you're going to have. Are you guys going to stick together in a place or move? I'll let you do it, Amelia.
Yeah, kiting for days, definitely. So it depends on the commander that you get for the faction, but generally you end up in a wide open area and you've got to defend and defeat the commander. Different commanders have different behaviors. Some teleport, some move slowly, so on and so forth. And so you gotta basically build a strategy around that. Generally, what we try to do against slow-moving commanders is we find a choke point as a team, and then we kind of wait for the enemies to funnel to us. And then once we get overwhelmed, we'll move to another choke point. If you stand out in the middle, it's very brave, but it probably won't end well for your team.
Yes.
Brave or foolish, the choice is yours.
Let's
so
do
we
it.
Okay, so here we
claim
go.
This in the name of the Inquisition. There we are.
So now you see enemies are spawning, and they're going to start coming to us from all directions. And
Venatori Commander's health bar just came up too.
Yep. Let's run this. Oh my gosh. Where did our tank go?
Your tank is tanking.
All right, guys. Let's hang out here for a little bit, and then let's run.
So you can see that enemies are coming from 2 points from the stairs, upstairs and downstairs. They're coming.
Or
It's
a
like
group of melee.
a little bit
attackers.
outnumbered now. 5 enemies and
Let's see what I've got. Antivan fire.
Probably,
Oh, yeah.
I think our commander has just shown her face.
oh, nice potion, Amelia.
Yeah.
Even fire.
Oh, there she
There
is.
she is.
So there's the commander. She's a fire mage, and she's probably gonna wreck all of us. So we should probably run.
Stick and move, stick and move.
So you can see that the party's kind of splitting up now. It's a dangerous time. Now they're trying to tackle one enemy that is alone. But now the other enemies are getting closer to them, so might be a good
Are we
time to
getting
move
pinched?
again.
Could be, yeah, flanked a bit.
Oh. So you see they keep on hitting and moving, hitting and moving.
Someone coming up behind you on your right.
Okay.
All right, so this is good. They're sticking together.
And it's a good time to use the potions as well, right?
Yeah. What else have I got? Oh, rock armor. That's good.
All right.
If you had any left at this point.
Yeah.
So she uses rock armor. What's rock armor, Amelia?
Rock armor gives you extra defense, so it turns you into a rock, and you take less damage.
All right.
Not literally a rock.
Literally. Look at me on the statue.
Excellent.
Moving statue.
I feel like we're getting cornered here.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Getting tricky. Nice movement from the party. You see that the Legionnaire kind of like moves a little bit, attacks a little bit. And the range characters, the DPS characters are trying to keep the range.
Uh-oh.
It should be mentioned that our other 3 devs are in the same room, and they're probably doing a lot of this teamwork that we're talking about.
Oh, they definitely
Absolutely.
are. Amelia can probably hear us and them, so.
That's why I've been sort of like nodding to people who don't exist.
Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Are you out of health potions? Uh-oh.
That Luke on tank right now?
Yep, Luke on tank. Tank's
Okay,
down.
Tank's down.
Uh-oh.
Does anybody have stealth to revive him?
No.
There's no assassins in this party, I believe. No rogues.
No assassins yet.
Billy, come on.
Should have planned ahead for that.
Alright, I'm gonna get him.
That sounds.
Legionnaire Keeper.
Decisions were made.
All right, he's back. Time to move, guys.
Right. Well, you know, you're still
Follow
keeping
me.
it together. Good.
I got barrier.
Nice barrier.
Not being wrecked by archers right now. So you got grouping those melee characters together and excellent.
What else have I got here? Is that Tears of the Dead?
Oh, you got.
You have Tears
looks
of
like
Dead,
a
yeah.
confusion potion, possibly.
Oh, Confusion, yep.
That might. There you go.
There we go.
Put a few of the guys, enemies on your side now.
Oh yeah, you see that their health bar, like, they become green, right?
Yeah, turn green, so now they're fighting for the Inquisition.
Temporarily.
Temporarily.
All right, we're going. Let's see if we can do it.
Oh no.
Oh, one is down.
Wrecked.
Okay.
If only I'd fade stepped. Maybe this guy'll save me. Mister, please.
No,
No.
it's not. No.
Looks two up. Oh, the tank is being swarmed.
Could be another sad day for the Inquisition.
So actually, Amelia, what happens if you don't get revived on time?
So you get revived. We go into a spectator-like mode called the fade mode, and you can kind of push an inspector around and kind of scout for your team and see the enemy stats and stuff like that.
This looks like a tough fight. Everybody's low on health now.
Yeah. Barely keeping together.
Oh, they're all clustered.
Buster, oh, good time for lightning strike.
Oh.
Oh,
That just, man.
that was
gotta
brutal.
I'm gonna make it. Please, sir.
Yeah.
Spare a health potion, sir.
So how many times can you actually die before you go to the fade mode, Amelia?
Three times. Oh, maybe this friendly mage will save me.
Oh yeah.
I know my archer got me.
The archer, yeah.
I definitely shouldn't teleport back into the fight.
No, definitely should not. That looks a little warm.
Well, she is a fire mage. There we go.
Oh,
So, I've just entered the fade. So when your friends enter the fade, they can no longer be revived, and all of the enemies get a damage buff. So it's even harder for my friends now. And so I can kind of push myself around here and spectate, but I can also scout because I can highlight the enemies, and I can see their different stats and weaknesses. So, for instance, this brute here, he's got his guard up. Venatory Commander, she is immune to fear, sleep, paralyzed, and physical effects. Which is pretty rough.
Provide intelligence from the fade.
I can. And from in the fade, you can actually ask your friends to come to a point if you are scouting and you want them to come somewhere. And you can also target enemies. So if you think they should attack the brute, you can highlight them and say, "Come get this guy," and all of your friends will see that.
And they can still hear you, right? So you can talk with them.
Yeah. So you can talk them through it. You just can't affect the physical world anymore in any way.
And if that was like zone, let's say zone 2 or zone 3, you could come back, right?
Yeah. So when your friends hit a checkpoint at an airlock, it will revive everybody in the fade.
So that kind of prevents you from being outside of the session for a good long while.
It does, yeah. So you won't be. So if you die and you go to the fade in the first wave, which would be really hard, you won't be out for the whole game.
So guys, we're finishing up our streaming session today. We went all the way to zone 5. The next session we're gonna bring like different characters and different level of characters so that we can show different strategies, maybe a Reaver, maybe a Necromancer. You guys can send your ideas, you can tweet to us and tell us what you want to see in the next section for multiplayer. So thanks a lot for everybody that joined us, that watched us. Thanks Amelia, Billy, Josh Stixma, Luke, and also Derek Holland. Thanks to all of you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.